welcome back to the channel, and thank you all for coming back over to watch another video. Wayne the Woodturner put out a little box challenge, well, not a challenge, yeah, a challenge last week, where you had to turn a box. Didn't recommend any size, but it had to be with a lid, and it had to have the middle turned out with a tool, not a Forstner bit. So I've got a piece of cherry here that I'm going to have a go at. It's Sunday the 25th at 11:10, so I'm going to try and get this done before my lunchtime live. If not, I'll go back to it afterwards and finish it, and hopefully get this up for the Wednesday, which will be the 25th, 6th, 7th, 28th. So hopefully this will be up on the 28th. So let's get this over to the lathe. Let's get it marked out to find a center. Needs to be rounded. Obviously it's not round at the moment, and then we'll get to it and see what we can create. It's not going to be a very big box, but hopefully a nice neat little box, and if I get time I may do a little finial for the top. But let's get over to the lathe, get it marked and get it mounted. Marked it center, so we're going to take this over to the drill, and I'm going to put a Forstner bit through there. The reason being is because if I put a ring plate on there and screw it, then I've got to turn so much away to get rid of the screw holes, which I don't want to do. So if I put a Forstner bit in there, that will give us enough that we can just turn it off at the end of it. So let's get over to the drill and drill that out. I'm using a 54mm Forstner bit to drill this. We're not going to go very deep because we don't want it very deep. We're just going to, enough really to hold our piece, so maybe about 4mm deep. Because the more we take out of there, the less we're going to have to the depth of our pot. So there we go, nice little hole. That's our mounting plate. So we've got a hole, enough to mount. Get this mounted in, and then we can get it roughed round. Best way to enjoy a Sunday, watch Robbo turn, the master of turning, while you turn yourself. Go over and check Robbo out, subscribe to his channel. Awesome turner, full of knowledge. Right, so that's the bottom of our pot finished. Sand up to 240 grit, Yorkshire grit, then finished with Hampshire Sheen High Gloss. Nice smooth finish. So we're going to flip it. We're going to part our top off to create our lid. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all this excess we don't need on the top here. So we'll turn that away, and then we can work out roughly what we've got left for our lid. Right, so got a lid. I'm going to put a little bit of a finial on it so we can leave that hole in the center. So before we part that off, I'm going to drill a 6mm hole in there, so we have our bit for our finial to go into. So 6mm bit, there we go. Let's just wind that in gently, just to go a couple of mil deep. Not going to go very deep. That is more than deep enough. So now we need to work out where we're going to part our lid. and then part that off. So I think we need to bring our lid back. We've got this nice little feature in here. Put it on the camera so you can see. Be good, won't it? So we've got this nice little feature in here I'd like to try and keep. So do I part the lid there, or do I part just before that? I think I'm going to part just before that, so that we get that little bit of a feature in our lid. So I may bring that, the lid's going to be a bit chunky, but if I bring that inside there, once I turn back the rebate to go inside the pot, it's going to not line up properly. So I'm going to come below that. Actually, let's mark it so I can see where it is. So out there somewhere. Open that up a little bit. Not too deep. I'm going to make it so that the actual pot slides, the lid slides over the actual pot. So let's get a parting tool and make that a little bit wider. About there. So what we'll do now is we'll part that lid off.
Think about me one more time before you go. Someday you'll know. Someday you'll know. Already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long.
So I've made a mess up now. I've parted off this, but didn't give me any. I didn't give myself any way to refit it to there, or any way to hold it in the chuck. So I have two choices. Option number one is I tape it and hope it gives me enough to give a recess into there to fit onto there, or enough. Sorry, turn it in there enough to hold into the chuck and then work it that way. Or I stick a glue block onto this, which I think is a bit extreme. So what I'm going to try first is I'm going to try taping this to hair tight, and then hopefully enough just to give me a mortise in there to hold into the chuck, so I can turn that to fit the base. Stupid schoolboy error. Not thinking ahead, rushing through it, trying to get done before alive. Should have took my time, worked it out properly, and moved from there. So we will see what we can do. So we've got a little bit of vibration on there, but hopefully that'll be enough to cure the problem. So let's just get this faced off, and hopefully the tape will be long enough, hard enough to, or strong enough, shall we say, to hold it.
Watch me closely now. I'm traveling at the speed of light from another universe where the stardust and kryptonite. Don't be afraid, you're alright, alright. You're in a haze just for the night, just for the night, for the night. Like diamonds, take me away to oblivion, oblivion. closely now. You're traveling at the speed of light to another universe where all the stars are shining bright. Don't be afraid, you're alright, alright. You're in a haze just for the night, for the night. Take me away to Orion, Orion, where all the stars are shining bright like diamonds, like diamonds. Take me away to oblivion, oblivion. Horizon, horizon. Don't be afraid. Alright, alright. You're in a haze just for the night, just for the night. Just for the night, for the night. Just for the night, for the night. Take me away. Take me away to Orion, Orion. All the stars are shining bright like diamonds, like diamonds. Take me away to oblivion, oblivion. Horizon, horizon.
Just like that. So we'll just clean this edge up here. A little bit of an undercut on it, so the outer edge sits nice and flush. So that is our lid. So what we need to do now is we need to match them, because obviously this is not perfectly round. We've got a little bit of a dome in there just to give us a little, can't really see that, just a little bit of a dome in there, just so it's got a little bit of a curve in it, a little bit of character. So what we could do is we could finish the inside of that off actually before we finish it. So I'm not going to sand this inner edge here, just going to sand the rest, just to give a little bit of a cleaner finish really. So just going to rub that around there. You just rub it on that foot there. Like I say, I'm not going to do the inside edge. So we just run the gouge along this outer edge then, just so we can finish that off and get a nice finish along this edge. Which one do we want? Let's have this one here. So what I'm doing is just going to bring this gouge along here just to clean this up a little bit, just so we get a matching pot really.
Tell me how to be closer to ya. Tell me how and I'll do it, babe. 'Cause I just wanna make you feel what I do about you. So just tell me how and I'll do it, babe. I love it when you whisper in my ear, words only meant for me to hear. Promise that your secret's safe with me. You're the only reason, yes, you're the only reason. Baby, you're the answer to my prayers. Feeling like the world's in our hands. Now I know that this is meant to be. You're the only reason, yes, you're the only reason I'm free.
So we've done this, put a little bit of a step on there, so that will fit into our lid nice and tight. So what we need to do now is I need to epoxy this to my lid, so we then can clean this up, finish it off and do the finishing touches. So what I'm going to do is get some epoxy, and we're just going to push this tailstock up just gently again against this, just to hold it in place. So let's get some epoxy glue out and get it glued up.
You and I could be on our way. Pack our bags and take this love to a different place now. Yes, you and I could be on our way. I love when you whisper in my ear, words only meant for me to hear.
There we go, nice little project, nice little pot. Finished on the inside with the spindle gouge, and I used a square edge carbide to finish the bottom of that out. Got a little bit of a detail in the bottom of that. Messed up a little bit by part. I should not have cleaned off the top of the lid. I should have left the foot on there to obviously hold it into the chuck, but we messed up a little bit. So we got there eventually, and I found a piece of GPS acrylic just to fit in the top there to finish it off. So that's a nice, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. Nice mottled effect pattern on there. So turned out really nice in the end. Finished with the Hampshire Sheen High Gloss. Sanded up to 240, sand and sealed, and then done over with the Yorkshire grit. We used Yorkshire grit original and microfine on the top there to give that lovely shine. So hey guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then please smash that like and share button. If it's your first time to the channel and you haven't subscribed, then please consider subscribing if you've enjoyed what you've seen. And with that, this is my pot challenge, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So take care, speak to you soon, and bye for now. So we've done this little bit of a recess on the back of this to fit into there. So now what we need to do is we need now